All right, welcome. We are just getting ready to start this interview with one of the most interesting players you'll ever come across. So he's ready in the studio, and we're just waiting for time. We've got a few minutes, 1 minute to be precise, but this is going to be exciting. It's going to be good. Wherever you're joining us from, just know this is going to be very, very exciting. It's a good day, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. We are streaming live on Terrian Chess Africa Facebook page, as well as the Chess Kenya Facebook page. Chess Kenya is the National Chess Federation that is mandated with the responsibility of overseeing chess growth and chess events in the country. Headed by the current president, Bernard Wanjala, with his team, and we're just looking forward to an exciting time. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming on set today the national champion, Mehul Gohil. Mehul, how are you, sir?
I'm okay. I'm all right.
Where are you? You seem as if you're in space or something.
I'm in an unusual location, so I put up a background.
Great, fantastic. How was your day?
It's a tiring day, so otherwise it's an okay day.
Great, Mehul. I want us to get live and right straight into the crux of the matter. Who is Mehul Gohil? We know you're the national champion, but who is Mehul? What do you do professionally, family, and what is your chess journey like in brief?
Okay, just shortly, I work in logistics and in supply chain. Yeah, so well, I've been around a long time on the chess scene since 1993, since I was a junior. I've just basically locally I won everything there is to say that needs to be won, and I still continue winning. I'm still young at chess in my head, and I'm looking forward to more victories. Yeah.
When you say you have won everything that there is to be won, can you please tell those who are watching and they don't know you, what is this everything?
Well, let's just say just about every national junior title from under 14 to under 21. I've won those. I've won a Kenya Open, won the national championship twice, represented the country, the Olympiad and the All Africa Games. I've won other sorts of events like Mombasa Open, Bungoma Open, I won the National Blitz Championships, National Rapid Championships. And I've won your first Terrian Rapid Championship as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you have also won the Ultimate Terrian Challenge match last December. You won it.
Yes, in fact, I beat Toboso, and then by great luck, I've even beaten Guku as well.
Great. That's an impressive CV. Mehul, I remember you as a young man when you were around, I think those ages you're talking about, 12, 14, coming into the tournament hall carrying a briefcase, black briefcase, black or brown?
Brown briefcase.
Briefly, what was the briefcase all about, man? You're not carrying notes.
My chess stuff used to be inside that thing, so it became a habit, right? And I didn't mind carrying it around.
You're lucky it wasn't during this time of cheating, otherwise you wouldn't be allowed to get material into the play. No. Now, Mehul, let's get into the crux of the matter. What game plan are you bringing into this event? Viewers, remember this is the Terrian Invitational Rapid Challenge happening at the Trademark Hotel Village Market, March 20th, 21st. For those who are watching us, remember there's a segment for the fans to answer a trivia question that will be put down there. And the question today is, in chess, who is considered as the father of chess? This has to be answered before the show is over. Members of Chess Kenya and their families and the players who are taking part in this event are not eligible to participate. And the winner at the end of this series of questions will walk away with the gift voucher worth 5,000 courtesy of the village market. The runners-up, first runner-up will get a gift voucher worth 3,000 shillings. Again, courtesy of the village market, and also from the village market, the third place person will get a gift voucher worth 2,000 Kenyan shillings. Now, Mehul, let's get into it. What is your game plan?
Well, okay, there's no big secret to a game plan. I'm quite experienced at winning events. It's the standard routine. You got to put in the work. Uh, just make sure the mentality is there. Mentality is very important. You must come with a positive fighting spirit. You can't be aiming for third place or fourth place like some other people. I aim for first place. Simple as that. And that attitude has to be there in the training as well. When you're training, you know you're training to finish first, not second, not third, or anything else. So training is basic, your combos, your opening repertoire, etc. Just standard stuff. Just the main thing is you need to be enthusiastic about your training. You need to be enjoying it, and you need to be working hard at it. And you need to have the mentality that you're going there to kill everyone you're going to see in that event. Yes. So that's basically the game plan.
So, if I hear you correctly, you fancy yourself as being the one who is going to leave this thing. And I'm reminded there's a time you said that looking at the field is only Peter Gilruth, Ben Buku, Joseph Metu, and yourself that might actually clinch this thing. The rest, I heard you saying you should come not like the rest. Who are these rest you're talking about, and why do you rate yourself so highly this event that you authoritatively say you're going
to? Well, the rest are the spectators. I don't even know their names. I don't need to know the names. Basically, yes, I think I'm going to win this event because there's sufficient time to practice, and I'm feeling I'm coming into form gradually. And plus, next week there's the African Championships, which uses the same time control, which will be a very good experience, very good training, particularly for the Terrian. It will give me a lot of information. I'll be meeting the anacondas from across Africa. So basically, why I'm picking those other four, I would have picked Atoli actually. But the fact is, if it was 15 minutes plus 10 seconds, then I would have dropped Gilruth and Guku and brought up Atoli. But now that it's 25 plus 10, those extra 10 minutes just gives Guku and Gilruth something to work with. And basically, the four players, including myself, which I picked, have this one thing which the other guys just simply don't have. It's the mentality. And then basically the mentality to look for position number one, which the other guys, sorry to say, they're strong, and of course you have to prepare for them, but they just don't have it.
You're talking about also the national team. Most of them are strong players playing for the reigning national champions, Kenya Commercial Bank Group. And these are players who have been tried and tested, and they have proved their worth. As one of them put it, Ricky Sang, that when it comes to qualifying for the final phase Olympiad, you know where you belong. What's your rejoinder? Because he really had some words to say about that. And also remembering that you say that, let me read what you said. There is something called the cellar. It will be interesting to know the 3 or 4 cellar dwellers who will be booking the accommodation at the venue after the.
Well, I hope the Trademark Hotel has got some rooms in the cellar. You guys might need some booking there. Okay, basically, look, this is a very strong field, right? You can't just take it lightly. I take each of my opponents very seriously, even if it's comparatively at the top level, the weaker guys still, anybody can suicide bomb you. Yes. What I'm saying is the winner will be one of the 4 which I've said. That means that even somebody like me could end up in the cellar. I could get suicide bombed on like 3 or 4 guys, but the winner will definitely come out of the 4. But that said, whilst each and everyone is pretty strong and they have to be taken seriously, they're just some were of a higher class. Simple as that. And if they don't like it, well, come and find out why it's going to be such. And like I think you mentioned national qualifiers, and I think I've mentioned it over the years many times. This is just a flawed qualifier system. It encourages one-hit wonders to make the team. I believe it's more like an 8-4-4 system. We need a more continuous assessment test system method of getting players into the national team, and the whole complexion of the team would change. The guys who are bragging right now will be nowhere to be seen. Like some of these guys, let's say Ricky San, which tournament has he won? Nothing. So how are such people able to get there? So if there was a continuous assessment test, things would be quite different. Yeah, and you'd have.
Don't forget that Ricky Sang is the national team captain. Don't forget that he's known as Tricky Ricky because of his resilience on the board. Don't forget.
No, I look. There's hype and there's objective strength of moves on the board. Ricky, okay, you have to take him seriously, but he's not a champion. So, and all those other guys, whoever those spectators, yeah. So I don't know.
I remember Ricky said that his style of play is positional, which you instantly dismissed on social media. What gave you the guts to dismiss that? And this
come on, man. He doesn't know positional play. One clear, his endgame play is pathetic. In fact, his endgame play is something like 1800, 1900. It's not even Kenya top 10 level, right? So some guys like Iwan Walela could play the endgame better than him. So just basically, if you're not good at the endgame, what are you even talking about positional play to begin with?
Remember, his top 10 in Kenya is ranked 8th, just immediately after you, who is 7th.
Okay, dude. I'm a very random guy. I fluctuate. By this time next year, you could be interviewing me. I'm 2150 or something. So, yeah.
Well, to the young person watching this show, and you're saying this time next year, maybe 2150. What are you supposed to do differently to improve your rating?
Well, you have to be consistent with the results, to get to, unfortunately, the ceiling in Kenya is 2150 to 2200 for the top 2 players. You have to be consistent. That means you'll have to finish at least top 3 in each and every event you play. Anything below that, you start losing rating points. And I would just advise the young guys, have the passion, because the passion is what will drive you to work harder. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, because you're being very vocal when it comes to saying the junior players do not break into the senior team. So you're saying there needs to be a paradigm shift in terms of training.
Yes. No. Okay. Besides training, this thing I've been mentioning, mentality. I think that the juniors we are seeing right now are cowards. Basically, if you just compare them to the juniors of the Andolo generation, that's myself, Magana, and team, we were not cowards. We were coming straight for you, Lions, and we were telling you we are going to replace you and overhaul you and make you guys go extinct. And that's exactly what we did. This is the sort of mentality and attitude we need to see in our juniors today.
I hear you. Now, not talking about the cellar dwellers, who are the players you consider a threat to your ambition of winning the Terrian Invitational Rapid Challenge?
Okay, basically the other 3 I mentioned, Matthew, definitely very dangerous guy. He works very hard as well. He's very focused. No kidding with him. You'll have to be very serious when you're playing against him. Guku as well. You saw it in the match. Those are very crazy games we played. Gilruth, it's well known. He's a big fighter. The other guy I would say is dangerous would be Atwoli. You see, Atwoli, they say he's just a Rusha Mawe style, but he's actually got a really well-rounded style. He's very good at every phase of the game, including positional play, and so on. And I think maybe over the last 5 years or so, he has lost motivation or something. But if he does come back to form, he's going to be quite dangerous here.
What about Peter Gilruth? I know you admire his style of play.
Yeah, Gilruth is just dangerous, man. It's like he's very accurate. And that extra 10 minutes he's getting, instead of 15 plus 10, we're playing 25 plus 10, might work in his favor. And he's very solid, rarely makes mistakes, and maybe he's of course the best endgame player in the country. So if you get into a level endgame, he could outplay you. Dangerous guy here.
I want to remind you also, in this field, you have got the 2018 national champion, Dr. Victor Ngani. And you took a swipe at him when he said he's going now to do puzzle rush and is going to work on his openings, and you sort of dismissed that and told him he will be trampled upon. What gives you the audacity to say that to a former national champion that you inherited the throne from?
Okay, now let's talk of world champions, right? We had one guy called Max Uwe. Now we know that Max Uwe is not world champion caliber, but due to circumstances, he did become one. So, basically, even in the Kenyan national championship thing, you need one guy who has won it by luck. Who's the Max Uwe of the national championship, and that's Victor Gani. He's actually the weakest national champion we've ever had. If you compare all the other ones, those are giants, man. He can't compare to them. So whether he does puzzle rush, he does what? Look, he's not going to be in the contention for the podium, or he's not going to win this thing.
My
But it's going to be dangerous. Of course, I'll be paying attention to him. I'm meeting him in the round one. He can suicide bomb, but he's not going to win this year.
My honest opinion as a spectator is that you are the best prepared theory player in this country, and higher, just around there, I also rank Victor Ngani to be there. He's very good in his theory.
Yeah, okay, now just note there's a difference between myself, my preparation, and his sort of preparation when you're talking of that, right? I feel that his openings, he doesn't seem to understand the resulting middle game positions at all. I don't know how he's doing it, right? Okay, whilst I think it's maybe 5 years ago, I was probably the best prepared. These days, I am not exactly the best prepared. I think the best prepared are maybe guys like Matthew, Huku are better prepared than I am currently. And I think Victor Gani's, I don't think he's that well prepared. Maybe if you go into his lines or something, but I think the way we, especially if you see guys like Matthew and Huku, how they prepare their openings, they're not looking for variations, they're looking for systems. So that means even if you deviate, they know they're still in home ground, they know how to maneuver around and so on. So I think that's the trend where the preparation should go toward, yeah.
All right, we'll be right back, but I want to remind the viewers and the fans who are following us on Facebook Live, there's a trivia question for you, and you stand to win big. The question today is, in the chess world, who is considered as the father of chess? Remember to put your answers in the comment box before the show is over. Our team is going to collect all the information. At the end of these interviews, this is the second one, we'll have 20 more. We'll pick up the winner, and the 3 winners will be awarded during the closing ceremony of the Terrian Invitational Rapid Challenge that will be taking place on the 20th to 21st March at the Trademark Hotel. You should visit that place at the Village Market. Splendid environment. Now, Mehul, having said that, what do you want to tell your opponents? Authoritatively, what do you want to tell them?
Well, basically, it's going to be very difficult to play against me. I'm going to be well prepared. I'm going to come with a very strong mental attitude to win. So, and there'll be a lot of fight I'll be bringing to the board. So it's going to be very difficult for them to deal with me.
But you have also been known to break down sometimes in good positions and just mess them up. Despite the mental preparedness, there's something different because of what you have said now. It might come to haunt you and the gods desert you. What are you going to do about that?
Well, you just have to live with that, because when it works out for me, I just win the event. It's simple as that.
You have been known also as the king of social media ranting. What motivates you?
Well, it's just, you have to be yourself. So if you feel like making noise and so on, then you go ahead and make noise. If you're the kind of guy who is just quiet and wants to be laid back, then maybe you shouldn't make noise. You need to be in sync with your personality as well to be better at the board. Yeah, so if guys who get caught up in or want to react to my stuff, that's too bad for you.
One of the things is that you're one of the players in the country, other than Ben Magana, Cadet Master Ben Magana, who have ever beaten a grandmaster? Remember that experience, the 2018 Africa Individual Chess Championship in Mombasa.
2019.
2019, sorry, 2019 in Mombasa, Shaza Hotel. How was it for you getting into that game? And remember, this was a strong field. We had strong players from the continent. Some people will argue that the grandmaster was unwell. That's why you won.
All right. So this is how it was, right? I think I believe there's a quote of there's an interview Magnus Carlsen did, and he was giving advice to like basically guys under the rating of 2300 of how to beat a grandmaster.
Mhm.
We're saying if you go for like technical positions, you have no chance. They're just going to know much more than you. There's no chance you're going to have. He was saying just take risks, even if it's unsound. Rusha Mave, basically, he was saying, just go for it. If you lose, you lose. But there's a chance you can win if you use that thing. Okay, so I think there were 3 grandmasters at that event. I played Ahmed Adli, and I think I stage fright by I think move 8. I already had a lost position, and I'm telling you, I was so mad, so pissed off that night. I said, "Oh man!" So the following day, I came with a really like burning desire to just rectify what I've done, right? And the following day, I used the Rushamabe and I beat the grandmaster. And I don't think he was sick or anything. If you see the games, but I think that game destabilized him, and hey, I put grandmaster out of business. He lost the game, and then he also had to quit the event.
I was there when you lost to Adli, and I really wondered what's wrong with Mehul. And then I was there too when you beat the Grandmaster El Gindi. Do you remember one of the critical moments in your game against that you felt is either now or never?
I think it was just I think maybe something like 10 moves towards the end. I came out of the opening pretty well. I sort of outplayed him in the opening. Then he came up with this very interesting counter where he sacrificed the exchange and he got this really strong knight in the center. Then his king was sort of exposed. And I wasn't so sure, of course. After studying a computer, my attack was dubious, but at the board, it's a different issue. I just said, we have to go for this. We just said, we're going to sack, we're going to go for this, just explode the position. And he got, psychologically, just got destabilized, and I converted.
Don't forget, thereafter, he withdrew from the event, citing that he had a nagging back problem. I don't know, but anyway.
No,
apart from that,
he immediately after the game, he was at the bar drinking himself silly because he wanted to get over the loss. So those backaches and things were just concoctions by the Egyptian doctors there.
But beer has got a way of making you still. So maybe you went to drown your sorrows, and maybe the bank will take care of it. Now, away from that, Mehul, Kenya, we have been waiting to get an international master. And at your age now, do you really have a realistic chance of getting there? Number 2, knowing that it involves a lot of investment in terms of training, getting a good trainer, or being exposed to tough events. What do you want to tell us regarding your plans to get to the highest level ever in the chess world?
My personal plans?
Yeah. And generally, what would you advise?
Unless now I'm just working on chess day and night, and I'm financially catered for, then it's possible, and for any of the top 10 Kenyan players, right? Of course, we have to earn a living and so on, and that interferes. But what I would like to do is, before I retire, at least hit 2300 and write at least one chess book, yeah, and then I can call it a day.
How are you going to get to the 300? That's what I wanted to hear, that journey. How are you going to get there so that that person watching you and still young can be encouraged to go, I can start pursuing my dreams right now and make it?
Well, definitely playing in local events, I don't think I'm going to get to 2300. I will definitely have to now start looking to play outside Kenya against at least the African anacondas around. That's the only way to up the rating. And take it from there. Yeah, so definitely going to have to play stronger players, stronger events. It's a 5-year plan, but let's see how it goes.
Are you willing to travel out of the country? Sometimes you have been known not to travel out of the country, citing work pressure. If you really want to make it, you need to make time for this, Mehul. How come sometimes when you have got strong events across the border in Uganda, where our brothers have been having a party when they meet us, how come you don't make it to go for these events?
No, the Ugandans hold the events at some very odd times. It's Christmas holidays, you have to be with friends, family, and so on. Maybe more suitable times are during the other times of the year.
All right, as we conclude, what would you like to say about the way chess has been run in the country in the recent past and in the past, and what trajectory are you seeing as taking as consideration towards attaining the higher levels of raising competitive players who can be known in the world of chess? Like today, we just had international master Arthur Segwani from Uganda coming in as the national team coach for the online African tournament.
Yeah, I think over the last 2-3 years, the administration of the game has been pretty excellent compared to what we have had in the past. There's been a lot of growth. As for our players achieving those heights, it will depend on personal commitment. We'll also I think we need to overhaul how we're handling our juniors. As I said, I think our juniors are just cowards. So we need a shift in mentality there. I don't know how the coaches bring it in. Maybe even the coaching structure has to be overhauled. As for the future, administration-wise, as we can see, there are attempts for new offices to get in and so on. So I don't know how that will come out, but I believe that if this office continues for another 4 years, we could see further growth.
And for that person who has never taken up, how do you demystify it? Because some people think it's an elitist post. How do you demystify that?
I don't think it's an elitist sport. All you require is just a chessboard. The rules are simple. Even the tournament entry fees compared to other sports is a lot less. No, it's not an elitist sport. We don't see multi-billionaires as the national champ or anything like that. So I think it's a game which is cuts across all demographics. It's a game for anyone. Yeah.
Okay, locally, Mehul, but in the region, Africa, let's say, and in the world, at the world stage, who were the players you admire most as we come to an end of this thing before I ask you
Okay.
about it?
My two favorite players are Bobby Fischer and Kasparov. I like their games. I think aesthetically they played some of the most beautiful chess. In Africa, I like Robert Guaze. I think he plays some very good chess. I also like Ahmed Adli. I think his chess is also pretty excellent. Yeah.
All right, as we conclude, what are your final thoughts, Mehul?
Well,
do you think the kind of event you're going to have is going to help you, and is it going to be beneficial to the players who are going to be participating?
Yes, I think we need more of this. We need this sort of, okay, it might be elitist, but we just need the top guys playing with each other. Now, if guys want to get into such a group, they need to up their game and force themselves in. Like, I think we have Elvis Likoko, who has shown some promise and he's been knocking on the doors and he's been included. You'll be noticed if you're actually putting in the effort. But if you're just expecting it to just get it by for free, no. I think we need to have more of this kind of things. And I believe what Terrian is doing, I think, needs to be replicated by Chess Kenya. That's how I think the national champ needs to also be decided in such a format. Like,
All right. I want to share a screen with you. I don't know if you recognize this game here, this position. Do you recognize this position?
Is this, just hold on, is this Emojong or was I playing?
With a critical mind.
This is what?
You tell me.
Was it Emojong? Or was this, wait, Washania? I don't know. Oh, wait, Maigua.
This is your game against a top player in the world.
In the world?
In Africa, for that matter.
No, I think this is Emojong, if I'm not wrong. Was this Emojong?
I'll tell you, this is the game that took a grandmaster to the bar.
Oh, are you sure this like this? Oh yeah, this is Gindi, yeah. No?
This is El Gindi.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, the knights got exchanged on d4. Yes, okay, fine.
Great.
Yeah. But I had a similar position against Emojong as well, I think.
Your patterns, Emojong, Elijah, you had some nice games against him. How did you rate his games and every time you played? There's a time
I think he's very underrated. I believe he's already playing 2400-ish, and he has a potential to be grandmaster if he got the resource, if he got the backing and so on. I think he's extremely talented.
All right, thank you very much, Mehul, for joining us there. You have heard it from the reigning national champion, Mehul Gohil, also known as the Gorilla, roaring right from his forest, and is coming for the other monkeys in the forest. Come March 21st at the Trademark Hotel Village Market. Remember, as we close, our trivia question was, in the chess world, who is considered as the father of chess? This has been your host today, Brian Kidula, the event organizer, and we wish you all the best and keep it here because we shall be having more interviews coming your way. Have a good evening and thank you for joining us.
Right.